Hey there, you're listening to Movies Not Music, the bi-weekly Waves on the Shore series where Jaron walks me through the wild world of the film industry. We're so glad you're here today. All that's left to do is kick back, relax, and enjoy.
We're not biased, we just don't like bad music.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Waves on the Shore. This time, movies, not music. I was going to make a joke about us being the most tardy podcast, which is a old-timey term for late, but I forgot to make it in time, and now it would be awkward if I said it. But that was the intention for the intro, but I messed it up. Anyways, we are a bit tardy, aren't we? We're a bit late.
Yeah.
But better late than never. Good things take time.
It's more than likely that this episode's going to be going up like 4 days late. So
nah, it's all
by
good.
the time it's
no one
but
knows.
It's all right.
It's all good.
More than likely what will happen is actually this will probably go. So we're recording this on Tuesday, the 7th of March. This will probably, hopefully, maybe go up tomorrow, but I am busy especially in the middle of the week. I'm pretty busy with.
Problem is, Jaron and I are busy men, right? We are very sought after, important individuals. We get a little busy from time to time.
I have like 10 women in my DMs at all times, so like that on top of like all of the just money that I make, it's just really hard to like do anything else,
I don't have any women. I just got better things to do.
I thought you were gonna say I just got boys in my DM.
Well, that would be true, but that's not what's taking up all my time. It's these multi-million-dollar business deals I'm a part of.
That's right. These big transactions.
You know what's not multi-million-dollar?
What, Evan? Enlighten me.
The budget for the movie we watched.
That's true. Did you look it up, or
could
you just tell?
I did.
Okay.
I did look up. So if you can't tell by the title, because I don't actually know what Jaron's going to title this, for this week, Jaron had me watch the movie 2007 film Once, directed and written by John Carney.
Right.
And as I was alluding to, the budget was a mere $150,000.
Which is not a lot.
Which is not... Isn't, like,
especially
million considered no budget?
Yeah, even a movie with just $1 million is, like, nothing. So, like, this is like very low budget. Yeah, and a big, actually, a way they got around that is just how they filmed it. It's very much handheld, kind of like not fancy cameras. Like it's meant to feel like you're there. Like it's meant to feel like you're a character, kind of like you're there with these people. It's supposed to make it feel more intimate, which I think it kind of succeeds at doing. But the movie is Once. I think you said that, right?
Mm-hmm.
John Carney.
Synopsis. Or sorry, no, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Well, sure, I'll do that in a second. But John Carney is one of my favorite directors, and it's interesting. He's also, in terms of like directors that fascinate me, he's like top of the list because all of like pretty much, I think every movie that he's ever made has to do with music, and they're not musicals, but they're musical films, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
There's this movie Once. He did Begin Again, which is another one of my all-time favorite movies, and he did Sing Street, and he's currently making a movie, a biopic on the Bee Gees, the band, I believe. So more music. So he's just really into music, and he's not a director that just pumps out movies. He makes a movie like when he wants to, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's really I think he's fascinating, and I think he wrote some of the music in this movie. I could be wrong. But yeah,
we'll get to the music for sure.
Yeah,
I wonder what would I search for how much money this movie made? Is that the box?
You could type in Once box office return. But yeah, while he does that, I'll give a little.
Bag?
I'm honestly not sure. I didn't see this movie until this past summer, I think, I knew it. I've known it existed for years, but I never got around to it.
$23.5 million.
Yeah, that's big money. That's big money. In terms of in terms of cost, and like that's proportionally that's big. Those are big numbers.
Well, how does that get divvied up? Does John Carney run away with that? Like, did the $150,000 go into
Considering
the
how
actors
low
and the post team and the production team, and then does he run away with the box?
So considering how the budget is what it takes to make the film, so that's like everyone included.
Yeah.
Except for maybe that's like paying.
That's what I assumed. Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of that is probably going to go to whatever company distributed it, but a lot of it's probably also going to go to John Carney, because he directed and wrote that. Like, this was very much kind of his thing. It wasn't like a big corporate thing. It's I feel like it's technically an indie film. I don't know how it got published or produced or any of that stuff. So I'm not going to pretend to know. But basically, the idea of this movie is pretty simple, really. It's this guy who he busks, he plays music, he does it, and he tends to do his own songs pretty much exclusively, right?
No.
Well, no, I mean
other people's songs during the day because that's what the people want to hear.
That's right.
That's right. Songs at night because no one.
That's right. I remember. Sorry, I haven't listened to this.
There can only be one smart co-host on a podcast.
Well, in my defense, it's been almost a year since I watched it, so I forgot that fact. But thank you for correcting me. But that's actually a cool detail.
It is.
But basically, he busks, he plays music, he writes his own songs, and he meets this. It's in Ireland, right?
Yeah, I love the Irish accent, man.
Yeah,
it's so
the director, John Carney, is Irish. There's a lot of Irish people in his. There's a lot of Irish people in his movies, so. But yeah, and he basically meets this girl from, where is she from? Do you remember?
The Czech,
the Czech Republic, right? And they kind of get along, and they start to form this friendship, and they start writing music together, and they basically set out to kind of make an album, and that's basically the premise of the movie. And there's a little kind of love story kind of happening a little bit.
Until they find out she's married.
Oh, we're just going to jump into it.
Oh.
I mean, that's fine.
Main character. Hold on real quick. I love the credit scene. There's no names for these characters. Like, it's like guy, girl,
they never say each other's names.
Which I kind of like, honestly.
That's kind of cool.
But anyways, the guy sort of starts falling for this girl who says, hey, I'm a musician too, we should make music. Goes back, meets his family and whatever. Well, her husband is still in the Czech for work, I believe. And so he doesn't know there's a husband, and then he's like, he thinks all's going well, and then
they
he
also
kind of married, and he's like, oh, yeah, kind of hurt me tummy.
And if I remember correctly, it also kind of seems like maybe the relationship with the husband isn't
ideal,
isn't great.
No.
Or at least there's some bad blood between them. I'm not gonna say that I'm not sure if it's abusive. I think it's just not amiable.
I think the issue might be his goatee, to be honest. You see that thing at the end of the movie, and it's gotta go, boss.
Hey, yo, what is that?
Those blurs on your face.
Because, like, if you think about it, like, things between them they're not divorced, but things between them must not be great if she's wanting to move to a different country to get away from him.
Yeah.
And she has her daughter with her and her mom, right?
Yep.
But yeah, basically, he helps it. So it's like my favorite thing about this movie is just how, I say that a lot, but I guess one of my favorite things would be that it's just it feels super realistic, and it also kind of feels relatable in the sense that, like, I feel like I know people, or I've met people, or I've seen people that are like this. Mm-hmm. You know, just like he works in his dad's it's a vacuum repair shop, right?
Hoover.
he helps out his dad's his dad with his vacuum repair shop, and without blatantly telling us, through good writing and cues and dialogue, we're essentially told that his mom has passed at some point, so it's just him and his dad. And his dad is a G and is just cool with him doing his music thing, which I think is dope. He like encourages him, and he's like, do this thing and do it. And that makes me that was actually one of the more emotional things for me in this movie, is like having like you have those people in your corner who are like, they believe in you, and they want you to chase your dreams, do what you believe in.
Mm-hmm.
But as we get further into this movie, they start to write and play music together, and then they finally decide, let's record an album together. And so they start searching for
studio.
They start searching for people to play with them, and so they just throw a ragtag band together, and they record an album at this small studio. And it's just really cool, I think. It's just a very realistic look at how some people get their start in the music industry, I think.
Back in the day.
Back in the day, yeah, it's subject to its time, of course.
Very much so. I think that's one of the cool elements to it, though, is that literally at the end of the recording session, like, he's given like a handful of CDs that have his music on them, and the producer's like, all right, here they are.
Yeah.
He's like, awesome, and like runs off with them. And it's just it's so 2000s, but it's cool in that way.
It is. So I guess we've kind of described loosely what goes on. What are your thoughts?
The plot, I don't mean this as a diss, but there's not a lot to it. Like, there's not a bunch of moving parts here.
I think that's a strength of this movie, personally.
Yeah, like that is a pretty good recap of it, because there's not all these different crossover, this person, this idea, that timeline. It's literally just Busker starts making music with a girl he finds on the street. They produce an album, finds out she's married, still goes on to do music at the end. And that's it. You just get like a glimpse into it.
It's basically it's the music being written, and it's their kind of relationship.
Yeah, it's very easy to follow.
And in the background, we haven't talked about it actually. There's always a few times it's mentioned and brought up. He had an ex, and they parted ways in a not so great way. We're not really told exactly what happened. And at the end of the movie, him and girl, because it's guy and girl, both agree to kind of part ways. But there's kind of this seems to be a mutual understanding that they both kind of. It was kind of like one of those situations where, like, maybe in another, if the timing were different or something like that, like one of those situations, like there was love there, but it just wasn't. It just wasn't meant to be, and so they both kind of agree to part ways. There's no like toxicity really going on. It's really just kind of like it's just how it is, and I really like that about this movie.
It doesn't. I kind of liked.
Does he go to London at the end?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, one thing, well, actually, I don't know. There's like hardly a scene in London, but
it's at the very, 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 very
I wonder
end,
if they even went to London, or if they just found like a red telephone booth and said, "Yeah, that's the London scene." But
honestly, that's probably what they did.
What they did with the budget. As soon as I knew the budget, the rest of the movie I was watching just inched to try to see different things in ways they could have saved money here, done that there. Like you can tell, like. The street scenes are very much they've just gone into a street. Like nothing here is orchestrated. To the point where they're filming one of the scenes. The only scene I have a problem with, where I think the budget does kind of interfere with the movie, is the scene where the girl she wants to listen to the one recording this guy had before they went to the studio, and the batteries for her like headset or DVD player or a CD player died. So she went to the shop, bought new batteries, put it in, and was listening to this recording and was like trying to think of her own lyrics over it. And she's like singing this like whole song as she's walking through the street. It's like a continuous shot of her walking. But like you can tell that they've literally just pulled up to like a random street, because there's like when they walk out of the store, there's like some like 12-year-olds there and they look kind of confused. And then
Yeah.
as she's like walking down the street in one of the scenes on a street corner across the road, there's like a couple and one of them like points at the camera and stuff. And it's just like you can tell it's like now it was kind of neat because
Sure.
like holy crap, this is so ground roots, like ground level, homegrown kind of thing. But
Yeah.
that was the one part where I was like, okay, this is kind of taking away from
The budget is
intimacy.
showing, is what you're.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah,
that
that
specific
was my
part.
only issue. I get it had
That's
a small
interesting.
budget, but there were some times where I was just like, I don't need some crazy cinematic movie, but there were some
Sure.
times where I was like, okay, that looks like it was shot on an iPhone. Or it's like, that looks like you didn't even turn the light in the right direction. There were a few things I was like, okay, we could have fixed that up a little bit, but what do I know about movies anyways? But I
That's
did
what I'm
like it.
saying.
I did like it. It was
Good.
different. It was very different from any movie you've had me watch because
Yeah, so I was going to have you watch Midnight in Paris, which is also different from other movies that we've watched, but then I had this. That's when I think I texted you yesterday,
Mhm,
and
yeah.
and I was like,
You gave me 2 movies, and I was like,
I
so he said, all right, we're watching this
yeah, I
movie
said
for
Midnight.
Movies Not Music, and then I was like, all right, cool. He comes back a few days later. Just a reminder, make sure you watch this movie. But he said a different movie, and I was like, wait. I thought we were watching the movie you said a few days ago, and then he said, actually, scrap both, watch once.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. So my thought process there is, I wanted to see what you thought of Midnight in Paris, which we might do next, actually. And so that's why I originally told you to watch. But before I told you to watch that, I was debating, should I do the Peanut Butter Falcon or Midnight in Paris? And so when I messaged you, have you seen the Peanut Butter Falcon? It's because I forgot that I told you to watch Midnight in Paris. And
Which
my
I
brain
haven't
wasn't.
watched yet.
Yeah. And it worked out because he hadn't watched the movie yet. And so I was just like, you know what? Just watch once because I'm interested to see what you think of this movie. And so let's actually get into, what do you think of the music? Because I freaking love it.
Dude, I found the soundtrack and downloaded
Yeah.
it. It is
I
so good.
Many of the songs, I actually think a couple of the songs might be in the What Are We Listening To playlist. Actually.
They should
Because, but Falling Slowly, Gold is so underrated. It has one of the lowest streams. Gold is so good. Lies.
I don't know all the songs by title yet.
Sure.
I know Falling Slowly is the one they play in the guitar shop. It's like, da, da, da,
And it's the biggest one. It has 110
but
million
I'm
streams.
gonna be honest, man. That's from the movie. I'm assuming all these were in the movie at some point, correct?
Yeah.
Of them, that is just so clearly a standout for me. That chorus
It's really good.
is that high note. What does he say? Let me pull up the lyrics. Hold up.
He says, "Take this sinking ship
Yeah,
and
say,
point it."
take this sinking
Yeah.
boat and point it home. We've still got, and then he goes up high, it's like time, and it's just so
Hits that
pretty.
falsetto. It's really good.
So good. That was the thing I like. Obviously, I knew we were gonna get to the music eventually because that is
Yeah,
the premise of the movie.
that's a big reason. We'll probably actually, you know what? I'm deciding right. Do you want to go through more John Carney movies because they all have good music in them? All of them do.
So down because
Okay,
this
so
music was so good. I was there watching the movie, and there are some times where it's almost just like a montage or like a music video looking thing. But
Yeah.
I'm just sitting there like, gosh darn, this is crazy good.
yeah,
Who wrote all that?
I think. Well, if I remember correctly, so that guy
Glenn
and
Hansard.
the people that Glenn, both him and the girl,
He's a musician. Because
they're both musicians. Both of them are just musicians.
Yeah, so
they just both are.
I looked it up and I couldn't find it, and I googled it, and it
He's the
literally
lead.
is by Glenn Hansard and Marketa Erglova. I don't know how to say
Erglova.
that. But Glenn Hansard, when I was looking him up, he's got albums of his own. like the Wild
Yeah,
Willing.
and
From
he's also the
2019.
lead singer of a band, like outside of his solo stuff. I forget what the band's
What band
called,
is
but
it?
I don't remember. I might be able to check real quick.
The
But
Frames.
he has won an Oscar. Yeah, The Frames.
He's really good, man.
He is.
He's really good.
I need to listen. I admit, I actually need to listen to more of his stuff. But apparently, and I'm just finding this out, he has a song. He has a song on the Hunger Games soundtrack. Apparently, because I see it. It just came up on Spotify. I'll have to
If
check
his
that
music
out.
is anything like the music on the movie, which I'm assuming it is, holy
He
crap, I'm
is
checking out his music.
from what I understand, he's kind of like an indie folk kind of guy, but it's like
That's my
early
thing.
a lot of his stuff is from the early 2000s. It's not modern indie folk. So I don't know exactly what it sounds like. So I'm not gonna, I don't know. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's pretty good. And I am ashamed to admit that I haven't really checked him out outside of once. I just haven't gotten around to it. But he's always been on the list. I've always been aware of who he is. But yeah, so I guess after once, we'll do okay, based off of title alone, would you rather do Sing Street or Begin Again?
Begin Again.
Okay, we'll do Begin Again. That'll be the next movie.
Crazy good Adam Melcher song. So.
And
So we'll go Begin.
But yeah, like this oh my gosh, this music. There's one scene they sing in this movie. They sing a song called Gold, and it's like around a dinner table. Like they're all, and it's like,
oh, that's gold. Oh, I wanted that one
song
too.
That song is really good. It's I love Falling Slowly. Don't get me wrong. It probably is maybe kind of, if you're trying to be objective, it probably is the best song on here. But Gold is like my favorite. It just has this vibe, and it feels very like, I don't even know, man. It's like, feels like, it's like if nature actually had a soundtrack and like I was hiking and I was like in a meadow or something, that song would just be on repeat the whole time. Like over and over again. Like the sun is shining and like the wind is blowing through like these, like this like open meadow. That's what I picture whenever this
mosquitoes are
song
biting.
plays. No mosquitoes.
The ticks are eating.
All of them and the ticks are eating. Stop trying to ruin my metaphor.
The caterpillars are poisoning things.
Hey yo, what? Do caterpillars poison things?
The Brazilians are chopping down the trees. It's crazy.
The Brazilians. No, but Gold is amazing. I love it. This is a movie that not a lot of people like. So when it came out, a bunch of people were like, "Hey, everybody, you should watch this indie movie." And so a decent amount of people went and did that. But like, it's getting in a few years old. Yeah, it's been 16 years. So like, this movie's been out for a little while. And so not a lot of people even really know it exists. And so if you like good movie and good music, this is both. Especially if you like folk acoustic stuff.
Yeah, I'm telling you, right? Like if you
with even a little bit of like Celtic stuff, a little bit, just with like, not
100%. Yeah. There's so much like European influence there, obviously, it's in Ireland. But if you like good folk music, bro, check out this movie. But if you're like me, and you're not a movie guru, you're not like,
But you enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it, but it's different. It is
different.
It is different. It's much more about the sentiments than it is the execution.
Sure.
Like just like how, in my mind, I don't know why. I feel like there's so many comparisons you can draw between like music culture and movie culture, at least from what I've gained so far. And in my mind, this is a little bit, yeah. This is kind of like a Deanne album. Like,
ooh, that's actually a good, yeah, okay.
Like,
or maybe even like a Seneca, a little bit.
No,
maybe not.
No,
you're right, because Seneca's a little bit more refined. Actually,
it's just the guitar and his voice, and it's not perfect. Sometimes he misses the notes, right? Sometimes he's laughing or like coughing in between a line, but the song, the artistry is so much there.
It's so good.
That's how I feel with this movie. I'm like, right, is the acting questionable at times? Yes. Do I think the budget gets in the way at times? Yes. Is the concept like enjoyable enough? Are the characters Like, can you get invested in the characters? Is the movie, like, at the end of the day, do I go away from that movie enjoying it? Yes. Yes, I do. Are you listening to the soundtrack right now?
I'm listening to Gold right now, bro. It's so good. I'm sorry.
I saw you
It's
just bumping along there. I was like, I felt
It
like
was. I was listening to you, but it's so towards the end of Gold. There's a big instrumental part where like everything is just going ham, and it just sounds so good.
Wait, hold on, real quick. Let me hear that one.
It's so good. But I would like to rate it.
Wait.
Just because. Are you gonna play it?
Don't copyright us. I actually just put my review on Letterboxd.
Oh, here, let me
Which
get my phone
once
out.
again, while Jaron pulls this up, if anyone can program or make apps, we need a Letterboxd for music. This has to be a thing, for crying out loud.
There kind of is one, but it's not an app, and it's like not super fleshed out. But my buddy Joe showed it to me.
What's
At least
it
I think
called?
it's. I don't remember.
Website?
I'd have to ask him. I'm not gonna.
Because I need that in my life. So
It's
bad.
a website, but I don't think it's like. I don't know. You're right, though. It does need to happen.
Can I add a profile picture?
Yeah, you need a profile pic. It
How
needs
do
to
I
be
do that?
official. You go into your settings, I believe. We'll do it on air. You go into your settings and use an avatar at the bottom, I
Select
believe.
new avatar.
Yeah, and then that's also where you can choose your favorite films in your settings. So that's what'll appear when people view your profile. All right, I want to
Should I do
see.
a
Did you give like an actual verbal review or just a rating?
I gave a review.
Oh, you literally just reviewed it while we were during the episode.
Well, I knew what I was
Leprechaun
gonna
type
say.
beat
I knew what
goes
I was gonna
crazy.
say.
Leprechaun beat. I can't even. Leprechaun type beat goes crazy for real.
I'm proud of
That's
it.
funny.
Should I make my my avatar Sarah Cameron? I have a screenshot of her.
Oh, from Outer Banks. Really? You're gonna be that guy?
Should I?
That's kind of gross, actually.
I could do this one.
My profile pic.
I
You can kind of see it. My
I don't know
profile
if it's
pic
gonna- Oh, is this gonna see or not see? What if I lower my
is.
brightness?
It's not focusing. Focus.
Oh, you can see mine. Okay, you see mine?
There, mine focused.
I see yours. I know what yours is. Are you able to see
mine's
mine?
American Psycho. Yeah, I can, but what is it?
So it's like an old sailor guy, and I just sent it to the boys, like me using my nautical riz on Sarah Cameron.
My nautical riz. That's funny.
And then we do a wins or not. Oh, that's a tie. Never mind. Shoot.
I actually don't think I've reviewed once on Letterboxd, so I'll do that real quick.
Could do the dog.
You gave it a 3.5 out of 5, which translates. That's a 7 out of 10, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's respectable. I
would consider bumping it up to 4.
I would say 7.5, and on Letterboxd that'll probably be like a 4 out of 5. I would say 7.5 out of 10. And it's the best movie ever.
Ooh, I could. You know what? Should I do the dog for my avatar? Sorry, I'm back to the avatar because I got this sweet picture of dog.
Should
Snout 0.5.
should the viewers decide? The two people that will actually tell us what they think.
I could put it on my story. I don't know.
Put it on your story. Tell people that you need to do that. Actually, tell them that you need a letterbox.
Though.
I'm reviewing once. I'm gonna give it 4 stars.
Actually, that works like crazy.
Freaking banger of a movie, quite frankly. If you have seen once, please comment.
Why isn't it showing up?
Because I want to know what you guys think.
I just changed my profile picture and it's not changing.
It takes a bit to update, honey. Calm down.
It's still blank, Jaron.
Freaking these Zoomers with their phones have no patience.
Look, just because you're 95 years old doesn't mean you get to call me a Zoomer.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm one. But I'm just better.
Oh, I don't even think my avatar actually changed. Hold on.
So, I guess that this episode is ending currently, but...
Not until I figure out my profile picture.
Okay, not until... Okay, never mind.
Keep talking.
Well, get excited for Begin Again next episode. I'm excited for that. That's a movie I've watched many, many times for many reasons, one of them being the music. And I will say this. Do you know who Adam Levine is?
Yeah.
You know who that is? Okay. Adam Levine is in Begin Again. There are multiple real-life musicians that play acting roles
Is he
in the movie
cheating
Begin Again.
in the movie?
He does cheat on someone. He does. And maybe I shouldn't have said that. I probably shouldn't have said that because it's a big part
I
of
would
the
have seen
movie.
it coming. Don't worry.
Right when you turn it on, you would have been like, that's Adam Levine, and he has a weird beard, and he's going to cheat on her, for sure.
Adam Levine's kind of a weird guy.
He is. But
Respectfully.
in that movie, I actually think he does a really good job of playing a douchebag, and he's a really good singer. He just is.
His voice kind of annoys me, though. His voice, to me, like, it's like the vocal equivalent of, like, those old, janky, like, electric pianos.
They have a...
It's so sharp.
Maroon 5 has a cover of the song Sex and Candy, and their cover of that song is, like, really good. And I would highly recommend people check that out. And then after Begin Again, we're going to do Sing Street, which is another John Carney movie that takes place in Ireland, and it takes place in the past. It takes place in the 80s.
Ooh.
Love
that.
Which is, and it's actually, I like it a lot. I think it's actually a little bit more lighthearted than his other movies. Just, it has the main characters are young kids, and it has a very youthful exuberance, youthful aura, you might say. And the music is very different from the other two movies, so I can highly recommend that. And at some point, just because music in movies, La La Land's one of my favorite musicals, probably is my favorite musical, so we'll watch La La Land at some point. And I would be very interested to see what you think of that, because probably the only musical you've ever seen is, like, High School Musical or something like that, if I had to guess.
Do you seriously think I've seen High School Musical?
I don't know, man.
Yes.
I've seen High School Musical. I enjoy High School Musical. It's horrible. It's not good. I make fun of it. That's why I watch it.
Guess if I've seen, like, realistically.
No, I don't think you have.
I've not seen High School Musical.
No,
I've seen. Like,
I will say though,
high school reenactments of Grease. If that counts.
Now we're on High School Musical. There are genuinely especially in that first movie. There's like actually 2 good songs in it. Like actually, and I'm not kidding. I genuinely think that there's at least 2 good songs there. Evan is.
Hold on.
What is that face you were making? Are you about to roast me? Is that what's the first High School Musical? I'm trying to think of the name, but there's this one song in particular I'm trying to think of.
Sounds like a Disney princess song.
It's Breaking Free. We're soaring, flying.
Oh, I know that one. Wait.
There's not a star in heaven that we can't reach.
Shut up.
But we're trying. Yeah, we're breaking free.
Who is that singing? Vector? What is that voice?
It's young Zac Efron.
Real quick. It's
NBA All-Star Zac Efron.
Someone vectored me.
Hey, yo.
I never thought it would happen. Where is it? It was so funny. I feel really bad. I've not been through my DMs in a hot minute. I apologize.
She's in your DMs. I'm having a seizure in the Walgreens.
I saw Adam Melcher posted, he tweeted something and he reposted on his Instagram. He's like, you're in her DMs. I'm in her Spotify Wrapped. We are not the same.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, one of my favorite memes
look at this.
So, what?
So this is in response to my dudes be like, I hate country music. My brother, where else are they supposed to make it? Which I thought was a high quality meme.
Yeah, I've seen that. It's all right.
This one person responds, ocean music. So I send her a picture of Frank Ocean.
Hey, yo.
To which I get vectored. I get vectored. I said, You didn't just vector me. Twisha says yes. Vector, that's me because I commit crimes with both direction and magnitude. I couldn't cope.
Is this a listener of the podcast or the
I don't know.
watcher?
Maybe she's just a viewer of the channel. McKenna, if you're listening
fan
to
of
this,
some kind. Okay.
That was hilarious and low-key made my day.
I wonder if maybe she does listen to the podcast because we've definitely talked about. I feel like we've talked about getting vectored before, maybe.
But like she
at least we
for
have
the first time in February 15th. So maybe she's just new to the Instagram. I don't know. McKenna, it was really funny. I got actually vectored.
Okay. I feel like I was saying something.
Or do you have something else to say?
I feel like I actually did have something else to say, but now I'm discombobulated.
Trivia.
Oh, whatever.
Who cares?
Thank you for tuning into this week's episode of Movies Not Music. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a comment below. And if you'd like to connect with us personally, you can find both of us on Instagram at The Waves on the Shore, and our personal accounts, myself, Evan, at The Overshore, and Jaron at JEPWOTS.